Hey, food friends, and welcome to the Food Founders Podcast, your number one spot to get mentoring, guidance, and behind the scene learnings to help you understand what it really takes to launch, grow, and scale your packaged food or beverage business. On the show, you'll hear from food founders at various stages of growth, and you'll hear from me and my 14 years of packaged food and beverage experience. Each episode is packed with insights, inspiration, and learning to help you on your food business journey. I'm your host, Ainsley, and this is the Food Founders Podcast. Hello, food friends, and welcome to the Food Founders Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about something very important in the food industry. We're actually going to be talking about two very important aspects that I always recommend people remember and really stay grounded in as they are launching or growing their food business. Today, we're going to be talking about your numbers, guys. We're going to be talking about your numbers. This is especially going to be very beneficial for you if you are in the early stages of running a food business, if you are operating under cottage food law, or if you are operating from a commercial kitchen. This is especially going to be very, very helpful for you. And even if you're just thinking about starting a food business right now, and that's why you're tuning in and you're like, how do I even go about this and make sure that I make money with this? Because that's what you're looking to do at the end of the day. If you're looking to make a business, this episode is for you. So we're going to dive into how to make sure that you can feel more confident about your numbers and how to really focus in on the numbers so that you can feel confident about what it is that you are making. You can feel confident about growing and scaling and really elevating yourself from the maker into the CEO of your food business. So two very important aspects that we always want to remember when we're running a food business. Number one, without sales, we don't have a business, right? We have a hobby. And if you want to do a hobby business, that's totally fine. But if you are here to run a business, then we need sales, right? So this is something that we always need to be focused in on. And I talk a lot about all the different ways that we do this by having a great brand, by being where our audience is, from marketing, by being able to get distribution points, all very, very key to make sure that we sell our product. Now, the second piece is without our profit, we still end up kind of with a hobby business, right? Because our business isn't going to be able to sustain for very long even if we get all the sales going, but we're not making any profit in it. The profit allows us to reinvest in what we're doing. It allows us to feel confident about growth. It allows us to, heck, if you're doing this on the side, leave your full-time job so that you can go full-time in your food business. All right. So we need to keep these two pieces top of mind. We need sales and we need profit. These are the two pieces. And I know some people might be like, Ainsley, I don't even know how to make either of those things happen. Of course, I want those things to happen, but I just don't know how. We're going to dive into making sure that you are profitable today. And if you are unsure of the growth pieces, keep tuning in, whether it be on the podcast here or other places where I hang out. I'm constantly trying to educate you guys to elevate into the CEO mindset for your food business. So I'm going to walk through a little bit of a scenario that I'm sure some of you guys can relate to in terms of oftentimes how we get to creating a product and get to having our product hit the market, right? And now again, today's episode is especially important if you are operating from a commercial kitchen or under cottage food law. So, number one, you've got a great product, right? You've got a great product. You've made this delicious recipe. You probably didn't even start out thinking it was going to become a business. Maybe you have a delicious cookie. Maybe you have a delicious beverage, delicious whatever it is, sauce, something that you just created and you love it. People love it. And you're like, gosh, if I don't turn this into a business, number one, someone else is going to, or number two, it's just like, there's nothing else as good as this in the market. So I should really bring this to the market. Whether you are thinking that, or a lot of times our loved ones are like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Can you please package this up and sell it? Sometimes it's our friends and family that kind of get us to realize, hey, maybe this is a viable business opportunity, and they help you see the way there. So you have your great product and you're like, okay, people love this. It's validated. I like making this. All right, let's turn this into a business. So you start just making a little bit more, making a little bit more. Maybe if you made, a dozen, now you're making 2 dozen, 3 dozen, 4 dozen, 5 dozen. You're constantly just going and increasing your production, which is amazing. You're getting those sales, that piece that we talked about. We need those sales. They're getting those sales coming in. But sometimes as that happens, it starts to get like a recipe. It starts to get confusing. It used to just be, okay, a pound of this, a pound of that, 5 grams of this, 5 grams of that. And I just put it all in and away I go and make it. Sometimes I know that there isn't even as strict of a recipe like that for some people. And that's okay. Wherever you are, that is okay. It is about how do we take where we are to start to shift us into more of where you want to be, right? Because I know we don't want to feel overwhelmed. I know we don't want to feel like we're not sure what we're doing in our business. We want to feel confident in our business. We want to have absolute confidence around the piece. We want to feel at ease as much as possible. And sometimes what happens when we have this great recipe, we have this great product, we start scaling, but we don't have the systems in place. So things start to feel overwhelming, right? We're like, oh shoot, I have to make product this weekend. Do I even have enough of these ingredients around? And there's this sense of overwhelm. Or you're like, okay, I need to make this 4 times larger. And you sit down and you're like, hold on, does this math make sense? I'm not sure if this math makes sense. Did I make this right? And you may be spending some extra time on those pieces more than you like. And let's be honest, probably aren't the pieces that you really want to be doing, right? You want to be in the making stage. You want to be in getting your product out there. Figuring out these little pieces and second guessing yourself can lead to a lot of frustration and overwhelm. And that is not what we want, because when we're in those pieces, then we're not showing up as our most confident self. We're starting to feel this friction with our business at times. And you start to question, should I even be doing this? What the heck am I doing? I've got a great product, but maybe I should just, keep making it for my friends and family. And I hear a lot of food founders say that who have incredible products. And it really just comes down to not understanding some of the pieces that we need to understand to have that flow and be a lot easier. That's what I want to create for you guys, more ease in your business, right? So when we get to that stage of maybe a little bit of overwhelm, a little bit of, oh my gosh, I'm doing this back of the napkin math. I think this is working. I've 4 times the recipe batch. This seems right. There's a few different scenarios that start to happen, right? There's, some people who are like, this is not a problem at all for me. I've got this. I got the numbers piece figured out. I know exactly how to scale this. This is not like concerning me at all. You confidently know how much money you're making. You confidently know how much time it takes to make your products. You are not worried about the production side of things. You're not worried about the financial pieces because you really feel like you have a grasp of everything and you're able to go and scale with a lot of ease because you're not concerned about those pieces, right? It always feels a little bit better if we know, hold on, how much is this going to cost me? It's kind of like if you go to a nice restaurant, you get this beautiful meal and you're like, oh, this looks so good. Da, 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 da. The decor is all nice. The food looks amazing. Everything is wonderful. You're wondering, how much is this going to cost me? Right? That's in the back of your head. If you're like a lot of people, that's probably in the back of your head, right? It's the same thing with our food business. We want to know what it is costing us. And that makes a ton of sense, right? You can feel confident if you know that your dish is going to cost $20 or $200 or $10, just knowing that gives you a sense. You never want to be like surprised at the end and be like, oh, great. I'm glad you enjoyed that steak. It was $200 when you are expecting to spend, $20, right? We don't want that. So it's the same thing. This person, they feel good about their numbers. They have that confidence that we want to have. We want to have confidence around as many pieces of pop as possible in our business. Then we have, sometimes there's another situation where you're kind of humming along and you're kind of turning like a blind eye to the numbers. You're just not really paying attention to it at all. Oh, I'm sure it's fine. And you're just you're in this maker mode. You're making your product, you're doing all the things, you're getting the packaging that you need. And sometimes you have to order, a smaller batch than you typically would of packaging because maybe you didn't have enough on hand that you thought you would. You're just kind of making it, and away you go, and you do an event or you sell to an account and you're like, okay, great. This is how much money I made from it. Yay. Right. So maybe not necessarily really taking a look. It's kind of like ignorance is bliss here, kind of turning a blind eye to the numbers. And then sometimes we start to try to figure out, we're like, no, I want to figure this out. I need to figure this out. But there's a great sense of overwhelm with that, right? If you're that second founder that we talked about, we want to get you to this third piece here, right? We want to get you to the point of, I need to figure out my numbers. Even if I'm overwhelmed, which we're going to uncover how to not feel overwhelmed with that today. I need to figure out my numbers. I need to look this in the eye. I need to put on my big girl, big boy panties, look at the numbers and see what this looks like. How much money am I actually making with this? Am I making money with it? And if I'm not, I can course correct, right? And if I am, amazing. Now I can have more confidence. So I know even just taking this step can be really challenging at the beginning, but we have to get there, guys, or we are going to end up with just a hobby and not the business. And you started your business for a reason. You started your business because you saw a need in the market, whether it be to help people from a health perspective, whether it be to give people delicious flavors, whatever that may be. You started it for a reason to help other people and yourselves, right? But if we do not figure out this business piece, the numbers piece, we are not able to have that impact that you really want. So we have to figure these out. So say it with me now. If you're like, Ainsley, I've been ignoring my numbers, commit with me that you are going to look at the numbers, follow what we're talking about in this podcast, and you are going to feel so much more confident, guys. All right. And if you are figuring it out and you're like, ooh, gosh, I still am getting frustrated here. I'm still not sure if this is right. But you're doing the pieces. Congratulations. You're doing the pieces. You've figured some of those pieces out. You probably have a greater level of confidence right now than what you did at the beginning when you were just kind of going with it. And that is amazing. That's what we want, guys. It's progress over perfection always. That is really, really key. So we want to respect where we are, recognize where we are, and then say, okay, is this going to get me where I want to go? And if the answer is no, then it's time to step out of that comfort and start to do the uncomfortable things. All right. So, and I promise you, it's really not as hard as you think. Realistically, none of running a food business or any business is as hard as we think. Oftentimes, it is simply that we just don't know what we don't know. And how would you know if you've never run a food business before? How are you supposed to know it all, right? It's really difficult if you've never done it before versus someone who knows the industry, right? This is why we want to educate ourselves, surround ourselves with people, with mentors, tuning into things like this, attending workshops, pieces like this, so that you can get the information to allow you to get your business where you want to go. All right. So today is all about playing to win with your numbers. And this starts with knowing our numbers so that you can feel confident about them, take control of your numbers, and you can shift from being the baker and the maker to the CEO of your business. And this means understanding our numbers. So grab a pen, grab a paper, write this stuff down, or come back and listen to this when you are able to do that. So I'm going to kind of share the pieces that you're going to want to dive into and give some different examples as to what this looks like. Because guys, it really isn't as difficult or as daunting. We just need a system, right? And it really is the mindset that, nope, we got to figure this out. I got to know how much money I'm making from all of this. Otherwise, I might just end up with a hobby and I'm not going to be able to impact as many people as I wanted. Okay. So the first thing we want to take note of is all of your ingredients. That's a given, of course, right? But I'm talking every single ingredient, not just your main ingredients. I want to hear the pepper, the salt, each and every little thing, right? This is so, so key. You want to list out every single one of your ingredients, the size that you buy your products in, right? So if you're buying 100-gram bottle of salt, we want to write down salt, 100-gram bottle is what you're buying. And then you want to list out how much you are using for each one of your batches or recipes, right? You want to list out that cost per weight there, the cost for the product that you are buying, and then how much of it you are buying, right? Do you pay $8 for 3 gallons of lemon water? Great. Write that down, right? So we've got lemon water, 3 gallons, $8. Then we can start to see how much you're paying per gallon, and then how much if you use, half a gallon for your recipe, then we can calculate how much it costs for each recipe, because we know it's $8 for 3 gallons. Okay. So then we divide our 8 by the 3. And then if we are using half of that, then we're going to divide that number by 0.5. And then we have that amount there, right? So that's what we want to look at, right? You also want to note down, where are you getting all your ingredients from, right? This really helps with the fulfillment piece. And so, if you are getting your products, let's say from Costco, if you get a few of your ingredients right now from Costco, if you're just starting out, you're like, okay, well, I get these 3 from Costco. I get these 3 from a manufacturer, and I get these 3 from somewhere else. Well, it's helpful to look at all the ingredients that you're getting from one location, so that if you need to do a run to those locations, you can go and get a run on anything that you need, right? So that's really, really important for us. So we want to list out all of those pieces. And however, you might be writing it down on paper right now. It might be in Excel. It might be in Google Sheets. Just we want to make sure we are documenting all of this information, right? So we have everything about our ingredients. We have how much we are using of that ingredient. And then here's a really key piece that a lot of people forget about, is how much wastage is there for every container that we are buying. So I'm going to use peanut butter because it's a really easy example. But let's say I'm buying a container of peanut butter. And it's 100 grams. Am I really getting 100 grams out of that? Probably not. There's probably a little bit of wastage, right? Probably with everything. So if you want to be really, really specific, you want to include what percentage of wastage is happening there, okay? So if it's 100 grams, I'm going to assume that 2% wastage. I only actually have 98 grams that need to be divided out into all of my different products. And then you want to, of course, look at your packaging. This is all the different pieces of your packaging. The actual package, is there a seal on it? Does it go in a box? How many units are in a box? We need to calculate all of those pieces. And then, of course, your assembly time, right? This is a piece that we forget. Sometimes it costs you time to be out making it. And it's really important to do this at the beginning stages, because as your business grows, you are not going to be able to make it all the time. Sometimes you're going to have someone else make it. So we want to try to calculate, okay, let's assume $15 an hour to make this product. And it takes me, 20 minutes to make a dozen of them. Great. We want to calculate that out so that you can really clearly see how much time does it really take to make each and every single one of your products, and have that figured out by the rate that you would typically pay someone. Okay. So these are the pieces that we're going to want to figure out here so that we can really get a sense of how much it really costs for each one of your products. Okay. And again, it's really important that we do this for every single one of our ingredients. I've done this with so many food founders, and a lot of them are like, oh yeah, I didn't even think to include my salt and pepper because I just use a small amount of it. And yes, it might seem minuscule, but think about as you grow, right? Think about as you grow, all of a sudden you might be buying 100 grams, but maybe one day that's going to be a kilo, right? So we need to take all these little pieces in place so that you can start to operate like the CEO. The CEO knows each and every single little thing that's going to impact the profitability of the business. All right. So it's important that we start to develop that mindset now, regardless of what stage you're at. So scaling becomes easier. So you feel more in control in your business so that you can go with confidence to retailers, to markets, direct to consumer, however you're selling, and know how much money you are making with your product, right? This is such a powerful thing. One of the students in one of my programs in the Food Brands That Sell mentorship and mastermind, she uses this document that lays out all the profitability pieces all the time, anytime she's doing any deal. And she has such confidence in her numbers now, where before she was guessing, she wasn't sure, right? Oh, am I making money for this? If I'm not, and it's really hard at the beginning too, because you want to, give deals sometimes to people. Oh, I want to help them out, whatever. They're asking for this price, but you need to know, is this profitable for me? Right? You need to take care of yourself in your business and make sure that you are profitable before you're trying to help someone else out on that end, because you're in this to make a business and you can help more people by being able to grow your business. Okay. And if the numbers don't make sense, so let's say you go through all this and you're like, okay, Ainsley, I've figured out exactly, all of my ingredient costs. I've added those up by each individual unit. I've added in there my product packaging costs, all the different pieces. I've added in my manufacturing time, all of those pieces. And I take a look and oh my gosh, I'm not making any profit based on what I sell it for right now. Or, oh, this is not a lot of profit at all. Okay. We can do a couple of things here, right? First of all, knowledge is power. Now you know this. If you were operating in the dark before, now you see the light. Now you see, okay, how do I fix this? Right? This is your opportunity to fix it. This is amazing. Now you know that you're not making money. That means that you don't need to go that way anymore. So you can do a couple of things. All right. You can change your recipe while still keeping your integrity. You can adjust your prices, right? You can do these little tweaks. Maybe you want to look at different packaging. Maybe you need to speed up production time. Maybe you need to find a different supplier. But now you have the full picture and now you have different tools in your tool belt that you can go to deploy to resolve the issue that you have in front of you. And that's really what being a business owner is. It's all about solving issues, right? At first, the issue was there is a gap in the market. People need this product. And that's, the beginning piece of it. But then as you grow, it is, how do I solve this problem with profitability? How do I solve this problem with getting into stores? How do I solve this problem with getting consumers to buy from my website? Whatever it may be, you're just a problem solver, right? That becomes your number one job. So now you have the information available to be able to fix that. So that is huge. These are the pieces that you want to really hone in on and focus in on as you are building your product and taking a look at the profitability. Now, I'm so excited because a few seasons ago, I had two food founders on the show and they shared, the episode title is Know Your Numbers, Charge More and Work Less. And they were in this exact same situation, guys, when they were making these cannolis. They were not entirely sure about the profitability in the product. They were like kind of guessing it here and there. Actually, it's such a beautiful story because when she was creating this product, she was like, okay, hold on. I'm not sure about these profitability pieces. She made a post on Craigslist and Percy came to help her. And well, now Percy ended up helping everything in the business. He ended up helping a ton of different pieces. That was his real expertise. And they're actually a couple now and they have like a beautiful child together as well. I love this story. It's like the best posting for Craigslist ever. But it all started with the business. But what they realized once Percy was starting to help in the business and started to look at this, he was like, how do we make this easier? Right? How do we make this easier from a numbers perspective so that you can feel confident about your numbers? How do we do this so that you can charge more? That's one of the main things that they noticed right away. Okay, we're not making enough profitability. Let's start charging more, right? That was a big piece of it. And also one of the other big things that they realized was like this fulfillment piece, right? You get a big order and you're like, okay, I need to go and fulfill this. How much time is this going to take me? Do I have all the ingredients? All these types of pieces you guys are faced with all the time. And this is the problem that they set out to solve for their own business, but now have actually taken this and expanded it to all food founders. So They have created Profit App. Profit App helps you basically go through all of the numbers that we just talked about here. It is such a simple online system that allows you to put in all of these pieces so that you can get really, really clear about profitability, so that you can get really clear about fulfillment time. It makes it so much easier for ordering your products, all of these different pieces. It's a very simple online portal where you input your ingredients, your suppliers, how much all your ingredients cost, how much do you use in each recipe, how much time does it take to make each recipe, your packaging costs, your wastage, all of that. And then it goes and it does all those calculations for you. So you don't need to worry, oh, shoot, am I doing this calculation right? Right? It's all about finding the confidence in our business. And it will tell you exactly how much profit you are making, not only from a single SKU, but from an entire batch, from an entire order, right? That you have to make. So let's say you know that you have kitchen space at your commercial kitchen booked for Saturday because you have 100 orders to fulfill. All right, you've got 100 orders that you need to fulfill. You can go in and you can put that into Profit App. You can be like, okay, I have 100 orders to fulfill before you go in, and it will tell you, oh, you're going to need this much of all of your ingredients. And you can be like, do I have all these ingredients? You can also have your ingredients in there. So it tells you, oh, you're low on this, right? So it's going to stop you that time when you're like in the kitchen and you're like, oh, shoot, I ran out of this ingredient and I have kitchen time booked. And now I need to go and get out of flow and waste my time that I'm renting from the kitchen to go pick up additional ingredients. It's going to notify you in advance, hey, you don't have enough to fulfill this entire order. So it saves you so much time and energy right there. It's also going to tell you exactly how much time it should take for your orders. So again, you've got 100 orders. It's going to tell you exactly how much time that's going to take. So you can say, oh, I actually only need 2.5 hours at the commercial kitchen versus 2 hours or versus 3 hours. And then you can adjust the timing that you had maybe booked, right? So it makes it really, really easy like that. And of course, it tells you how much profit you are going to make for this entire order, which is incredible to have that at your fingertips. So you're like, okay, I am making these 100 orders. This is how much I'm going to make right now. This is how much time I'm going to need for this. All really, really key things to allow you to operate as that CEO and allow you to feel more confident in your business. It really helps you identify all the true costs of everything in your business, which is really, really key. You don't need to do calculations on the back of sheets of paper anymore. You don't need to use just an Excel document. You don't need to, oh shoot, I'm going to change my recipe. Now I need to redo all of these pieces. It's really easy. It stores it all in one place. I've been playing around with the app. It's super easy to navigate. You can add pictures of your pieces in there. You have all your ingredients in there, all your suppliers, all your recipes. So you save this time in our business in terms of, oh shoot, where is that recipe again? Oh shoot, is this connected to this again? Oh no, I'm out of this ingredient. Oh no, I've got to go pick this up. Hold on. Am I making a profit from this? It saves you all that extra mind time, which is so important, and gives you that confidence back in your business around one of the most important pieces are numbers. Because remember, if we are not having sales in our business, and if we're not having profit in our business, we end up with a hobby and not the business that we really want. And we end up not having the impact that we really want. So I'm so excited to see this app out there. And I just love that it is created for food founders, by food founders, like literally created with your brains in mind. Everyone who's listening, if you're a food founder, right? This is absolutely for you. It's also incredibly affordable. You can get the entire app for a year for $360. They also have a monthly plan for like $50 a month, or a quarterly plan for $105 for the quarter. So really, really affordable. And because wonderful food friends help other food friends, the team over at Profit App is actually giving everyone who's a food friend of the show an additional 30% off when you register. So if you get the full annual plan, you're going to save 30%. If you get the monthly plan, you're going to get 30% off the first 3 months. And if you get the quarterly plan, you're going to get 30% off of that. So really, really exciting. Guys, this is like, I love the food industry because food founders want to help other food founders, right? I run this show to help food founders not have to figure it out all alone, right? What the Profit App team has done is made sure that you don't need to stumble the way that they did at the beginning, right? You can literally learn from their mistakes and you can fast track the way that they wish that they had it fast tracked from day one, right? So such a huge, huge piece. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out, Profit App just launched a few short weeks ago. So definitely go and check it out. It is going to be a game changer in your business. Absolutely worth the price point that you're going to have there. You can go to Profit. So Profit is spelled PROPHIT app.com/foodfriend. So again, that's profitapp.com/foodfriend. And Profit is PROPHIT. You can go there and you're going to get that 30% off, which is incredible. Guys, if you are serious about tackling the numbers in your business, which you absolutely should be, if we want to start moving into that CEO mindset, if we want to start operating with more confidence, and we really want to know where our numbers at, we want to start acting like that CEO, then I know that this tool is absolutely going to help you guys get there regardless, regardless of what makes sense for you guys. Understanding your numbers is what makes the difference between the food brands that can scale with confidence, right? Versus food founders and food brands that sometimes don't have that confidence in it, right? You're going to go to stores with a different level of confidence if you know exactly how much money you make from every order versus not having that full confidence in it. It's the same thing with having a great looking brand. You go to the store with a different level of confidence. And that has such a huge shift in everything that you do in your business, right? And if you guys have a great product, I want to see you get it on more store shelves. I want to see you get it in more people's homes. But to do that, we need to make sure that we are running it like a business and not like a hobby. And so I commend all of you guys who have listened to this episode and you are like, you know what, Ainsley? I'm not going to turn a blind eye to my numbers anymore. It's going to be tough. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing at the beginning. Maybe I am afraid of what I'm going to see from the numbers, but I am going to pull off the Band-Aid and I am going to get serious about my numbers so that I can confidently grow my business. I'm so proud of all you guys. If that is you taking that leap today, if that is you realizing that, heck, maybe I've been ignoring this piece, but you're not going to do that anymore and you're going to step into that CEO and take a look at those numbers. I'm so, so proud of you. That is not always easy to do, but it is absolutely a crucial step in your path to success. So congratulations to all of you guys that are going to go ahead and do that following this episode. And I'm sure some of you guys have already been writing all these pieces down, which is incredible. And again, that Profit app does make it so much easier, all in one spot. You can have everything housed in one location so you can have more confidence, stop wasting time, and get to the pieces that make a huge, huge difference in your business. Finding documents is not a piece of it. Doing extra runs is not a big piece of it because you forgot an ingredient or something. And not having the confidence in our number is not a piece of it. So that is it for today, guys. I hope this was helpful for you to realize, hey, time for me to look at the numbers. It's time for me to figure this out so that I can grow with confidence. So that is it for right now. I will be back next week where we'll be talking with another food founder so that you can help learn from them how to continue to launch, grow, and scale your food business. See you then, food friends.